Hi.
Hello.
So this morning, oh, I didn't give you a chance to say hi.
That's okay.
Okay, so this afternoon, I'm going to introduce Vickie Snell, who is running against Steve Smith for the Estancia Trustee Area #1. She's volunteered for a million district committees as well as serving on the Harbor Council PTA forever, and has a ton of experience. So it's great to have you here.
Good morning. Good
It's
afternoon.
actually good afternoon.
Good afternoon. I came here was morning.
I know. It seems like morning.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have a couple of questions, and a kind of a short time.
Okay.
Okay, so what do you think are the three most important issues facing Newport Mesa next year?
First is the implementation of Common Core. That, as you know, that's what we're doing next year, and we've spent several years getting ready for that. I think that it's really important that the teachers have lots of support and training in order to be successful in the implementation. I've been able to observe the classes in Common Core and talk to the teachers who are doing the curriculum design. And what I see is a lot of excited teachers and a lot of engaged teachers and engaged students with this teaching model. So I'm really excited about it. I think it's going to give teachers a lot more creativity in their lessons. It's not just teaching being on page number 4 on day number 4. It's giving them the opportunity to take advantage of those teachable moments. So I'm really excited about it.
Okay. Actually, I might come back to that question
Okay.
later. So what would be the second thing?
The second thing is every Newport Mesa school being parents' first choice, and we have some work to do on that, as you know. I think the new flagship programs, which they're calling academies now at each of the high schools, they are a nice step in that direction. And I like the collaboration between all the principals in all the schools in their particular zone. So this is just not something in high school. This is something that goes down to elementary school. We just recently saw the presentations of the 4 themes for each of the zones, and I was really impressed with them. I truly believe one size does not fit all in education, and we need to have offerings for those students that want to be doctors and go to Harvard, and those students that want to be a medical technician. And so having more of the certification program pathways available in the schools will help that. So that's big. I want to address to Costa Mesa. I live in Costa Mesa Area 1. The Mesa Verde schools there, that's really going to be one of my focuses, is bringing those neighbors back into Adams and California.
So, just a second little question about that. So where are these kids? If they're not going to Adams, then where are they?
They're in Huntington Beach. They're in private schools. Some of them, because Adams is a PI school, they can transfer to other schools, but a lot of them go down the hill to Huntington Beach. So, you know, and that part of that's our problem. We need to let them know what opportunities there are at Adams, and we need to do more promotion about that, and we need to make some big changes. There's less than 10% of the neighborhood going to Adams Elementary, and California loses some kids in 5th grade, and we need to change that. And on the west side, we need to improve the scores. We don't have as much attrition there. Victoria School certainly has a lot. They go down after Victoria. Some of them go down the hill. It's about the same amount of miles away.
Yeah.
So we need to work on making our schools so that parents want to go there. That's important.
Okay, third thing.
Okay. Third thing, technology integration. effective technology integration. Technology is really important. It's important with Common Core, but it needs to be integrated into the lesson. It shouldn't just be something teachers have to add on. It should be part of the lesson. It should be effective, and it's 21st century learning, and it's important. We need to do that.
Yeah. Okay. So do you see tablets going in every classroom at some point?
I do. I know that some of the elementary schools, several of them will have tablet programs in 5th and 6th grade this year. Again, teacher training too. Teachers need to know how to implement it into their lesson, and they can't just all be expected to figure this out. They have to collaborate and know, and so
have support,
and have lots of support. Mm-hmm. Lots of support.
What's your understanding of restorative justice, and do you agree or disagree?
I think a lot of parents think restorative justice means no consequences for misbehavior, and that is, in my understanding, not true. There needs to be consequences. As a parent, everybody knows if you don't have consequences for your action, the bad behavior will continue. I think the difference with restorative practices is that there's an education piece after the misbehavior. There's an education piece before. Mm-hmm. We've always had character education in our elementary schools, but there needs to be a piece where kids learn and understand what they did wrong, and make amends for what they did wrong, and give them tools to deal with these situations. They still need to be disciplined and know that there's going to be discipline, but not just sent off and then they come back and they don't really get what happened. And again, more training for teachers, more training for administrators to learn how to talk to these children and find out what's going on, why they're behaving this way. So it's educational.
There's always a backstory too.
There's always a backstory. We have a lot of different children mm-hmm. with problems. Yeah.
So we talked a little bit about technology, and what do you think is the future, really, seriously, the future of technology in the district?
I think we're going to see a day where when parents go shopping for their school supplies, they pick up a tablet because they'll probably be $80 or something. So it's bring your own device. I think that's part of the future. So which means there has to be a real focus on infrastructure, which is what we're doing now, on software programs that everybody can use. And then it's more manageable. It's much more manageable for the district to spend the money because some people will have their own. Just like now we provide things for students that can't afford it, but some students would like their own pink tablet.
Right.
Yeah. And again, integration of technology into the lesson. That's crucial.
Do you see the technology as being, I mean, if they have a mm-hmm. tablet, would all the tablets then have to be that same tablet?
Absolutely. There has to be no, not the same tablet. I'm sorry.
Okay.
There needs to be an infrastructure that a lot of different tablets would work. Mm-hmm. It's not the same. And tablets change, so we can't say everybody has this Chromebook that works now, but in 2 years it could be something else. Mm-hmm. So the infrastructure really has to be solid, and so that all different kinds of devices would work.
Okay. Okay. This is a great question. I love this question. How much of the budget do you think you understand, and how do you think money could be saved or better spent?
Okay. The budget book is about an inch and a half thick. I have dealt with site budgets, and I have dealt with PTA budgets and district PTA budgets. But this is a whole different animal. There's so many parts of it that I'm learning to understand the more I am a board member. Basically, though, I do know that we have about a $250 million revenue, and we spend more than we take in. that's the way it has been. But as you know, there are reserves. There's a 4% reserve for rainy days, and there is another small reserve that we use as well. I think I'm in agreement with a conservative budget because that is what got us through the recent recession, in that we didn't have to do any furlough days, we didn't have to lay off any teachers, we were able to keep 20 to 1, now it's like 20 to 25 in K through 3, and we didn't really have to cut a lot of programs. Although some of the programs may have been cut because maybe they needed to be cut, because that always has to be constantly reviewed. How do you save money? Well, you spend wisely, and I'm a child of the 50s, and you always have a savings. You don't pay your mortgage with your savings. You need to have a backup, and so I'm very conservative about having a savings and a backup so that we can pay our bills. So I focus more on I would like to focus more on raising money.
I know you just gave that look because I'm looking at the time.
I'm sorry.
No, we have at least 3 more minutes.
Oh, good. Okay, perfect. I would like to focus more on partnerships with large corporations, with community corporations, with universities and colleges, to get some of the things that we are now having to pay for, and maybe get them for less money. So that's kind of what my focus is, and continuing to be critical of the money that we're spending and making sure it's effective. Just like technology, it's got to be effective and adding value to the students' educational experience.
The next question is actually my favorite question, and we have a couple of minutes to discuss.
Okay.
And we were discussing it before.
Mm-hmm.
Would you have an intern, and how do you think you might use one, if you would?
Well, actually, since we discussed it a little bit before, I got some clarification. I would be glad to have an intern. It would be helpful for research, as you discussed, and helping with campaigns. It give them the experience. I'm a newbie campaign-wise, so it would be exciting, and I love working with young people. And so I'd have to talk with the person and find out just what they can do to help me. But I'm open. I'm open to it.
That'd be great.
Absolutely.
I would love that.
Yeah.
Listen, thank you so much for coming by. Really
You're
appreciate
welcome.
it.
It was a pleasure to meet you.
Fun.
Mm-hmm.